Morning class. We are going to start the third chapter of civics, that is parliamentary form of government. Parliamentary form of government. Okay. So first of all, we have to discuss what are the three organs of the government. Three organs of the government are legislative, executive, and judicial. Legislative frame laws, executive enforce those laws, and judiciary is the guardian of the constitution. Okay. India has adopted parliamentary form of government. So, first of all, we have to discuss what is the reason why India adopted parliamentary form of government. India adopted parliamentary form of government because India is a very big country. It consists of various states. It is not easy to sit in a particular place and frame laws. It is not easy for the whole country to sit at a particular place and frame laws. Therefore, India adopted indirect democracy. India adopted parliamentary form of government so that all the people of the country could participate in all the law-making process. Okay, so India elects their representatives through elections. Those representatives go into the parliament and frame laws. Okay, the three organs of the government: legislative, executive, and judiciary. Legislature and executive both are connected to the parliament, and executive is responsible to the legislature. Now we will discuss what are the two forms of parliament which are found in India. The two forms of parliament are first is Lok Sabha and the other is Rajya Sabha. So first of all, we will discuss what is Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha is also known as the House of the People. Lok Sabha is that part of the parliament which is elected directly by the people of India through the elections. Three types of elections are held: general elections, by-elections, and midterm elections. The general elections are held after every 5 years, and through general elections we elect the representatives. Those representatives sit in the parliament, that means the Lok Sabha, to frame the laws for the country. Okay, and there are about 552 members in the Lok Sabha. 552 members are there in the Lok Sabha, out of which 530 members are directly elected by the people of India, 20 members are elected from the union territories, and 2 members of the Anglo-Indian community are nominated by the president of the country. Okay, now we will discuss what is the procedure of the election of the members of the Lok Sabha. First of all, there are some qualifications which are required to be elected as the members of the Lok Sabha. Those qualifications are: you should be 25 years of age. Any person or any citizen of India should be 25 years or above to be qualified to be elected as the member of the Lok Sabha. Okay. Second condition is he should be mentally sound. That means that person who is going to be elected as the member of the Lok Sabha should be mentally sound. Okay, and he should not be a bankrupt. Should not be a bankrupt. So these are some qualifications for the members of the Lok Sabha. What are the functions of the Lok Sabha? First of all, their tenure of the Lok Sabha is 5 years. Okay, 5 years. A particular Lok Sabha is elected for 5 years, and members of the Lok Sabha are elected from each constituency. So there is a term which is used here, that is constituency. For the purpose of elections, the country is divided into various constituencies, and from each constituency a one member is elected, and there is one seat of each constituency, and that particular member is elected which sits in the Lok Sabha for that particular constituency. Okay. and that particular person belongs to a particular political party. The members are known as members of the parliament because they are sitting in the parliament. That is why the members of the parliament are known as members of the parliament or MPs. In short form, we can say them MPs, or it is an abbreviation for member of the parliament. Okay. Members belonging to other political parties form the opposition. The party which gets the majority of the seats, or the party which has won many of the constituencies, is elected as to be form the government. Okay, because the Lok Sabha sits on the majority. The party which has the majority in the parliamentary elections will form the government only. Okay. Two or more parties came together to form the coalition government. There is another type of government which is formed, that is known as coalition government. Coalition government is formed in such case when a particular political party does not win the majority of the seats. For example, if there are 552 members in the Lok Sabha, so at least 273 seats or 273 constituency seats should be won by a particular political party. Otherwise, that particular party will not be able to form the government. Okay. So, in that particular case, what happens? For example, if a particular political party like BJP wins 250 seats, which means that that particular political party is 23 short of the majority. Okay, so in that case, the highest number of seats which is won by BJP will have to get the support of some other political parties. Like for example, SP, BSP, if they had won 10 or 10 seats and others had won 5 seats, and if these three, SP, BSP and others, will give them support, then they will form the coalition government. Okay. Now there is a deputy speaker and a speaker which is elected by the members of the Lok Sabha. The speaker and the deputy speaker is elected from the members of the Lok Sabha itself. The members of the Lok Sabha either elect or either nominate any member of the Lok Sabha as a speaker or as a deputy speaker. Okay. Now we will discuss about the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha, or the House of the States. Rajya Sabha, as you can see from the term Raj, that means the house of the states. There are various laws which need the consent of each state, because every law which is framed which is passed in the parliament of, for example, Lok Sabha, which is passed in the Lok Sabha, need the consent of each and every state, because India is a collection of states. So members of each state should have a say in the in passing of a particular bill or a particular law. So for that we had made a separate house that is known as Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is the upper house. Lok Sabha is the lower house and Rajya Sabha is the upper house. All the bills after getting passed from the Lok Sabha goes to the Rajya Sabha for the consent. Okay. Now how many members are there in the Rajya Sabha? 250 members are there in the Rajya Sabha. 250 members, more than half of the Lok Sabha. Okay. And 12 members distinguished in 12 members are directly nominated by the president. They can be from the various fields like art, literature, science. Okay. Rest of the members are elected by the members of the state legislatures. Rest of the members are elected from the state legislatures, like the legislative assembly of any state or legislative council of any states. Those legislative assemblies and legislative councils elect some members from their states, and those members goes to the Rajya Sabha and represent their state. Okay. The tenure of the Rajya Sabha is a permanent body. It is permanent. Lok Sabha gets dissolved after every 5 years. The tenure of the Lok Sabha is 5 years, but Rajya Sabha has no tenure. Rajya Sabha continues. Rajya Sabha is a permanent body, never gets dissolved. Okay, the members serve over a period for 6 years. 6 years is the tenure of the members of the Lok Sabha, and 1/3 of the members retire every 2 years. 1/3 of the members of the Rajya Sabha retire every 2 years. The vice president is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, or the speaker, you can say. Okay, vice president is the head of the Rajya Sabha. Right now, who is the Vice President of India? Mr. Venkaiah Naidu. Mr. Venkaiah Naidu right now is the head of the Rajya Sabha. Okay? And the deputy chairperson is elected from the members of the Rajya Sabha. Functions of the parliament. Now we will discuss about the functions of the parliament. So first of all, we have to discuss what are the legislative functions of the parliament. The parliament makes the law of the country. The first and the foremost work of the parliament is to frame laws. The laws which are needed, which are enforced on every citizen of the country. We elect the representatives. Those representatives makes laws on our behalf. They are our representatives. Okay. Legislative functions. All the laws are introduced as bills in the parliament. All the laws are introduced as bills. First of all, our law is a bill. When it is not passed, it is considered as a bill. The parliament legislates on all subjects mentioned in the union list. There are 3 lists. There are 3 lists: union, state, and concurrent, which includes various subjects. So the parliament can only make laws which are mentioned in the union list as well as in the concurrent list. State list, the parliament cannot make any law which is mentioned in the state list, because state list is that particular list which is only in the hands of the state government. Only state government can make laws mentioned in the state list. Okay. Financial function, the government imposes taxes on the people. Why government imposes taxes? Because from the collection of that taxes, it does various types of welfare reforms. Okay. The annual budget of the country is presented by the finance minister of the country before the parliament, and after the budget is approved by the parliament, only after that it can be enforced on the country. Okay. Debates is a major part of the parliament. All issues, all bills, first of all, are discussed thoroughly by each and every member of the house. Each and every member of the house represents and speaks on the bill, presents its amendment, the changes which he wants to introduce in that particular bill, and those changes are discussed, and those changes are then sent to the speaker. The speaker does voting on that particular changes, and after that changes, again the bill is introduced, and again the bill is discussed, again the bill is debated, and after that the bill is again put to vote, and after getting passed from particular Lok Sabha or any of the house, that particular bill is sent to the another house, and after that, when it is passed by another house, then it is sent to the president. And if the president gives assent to that bills become an act or a law. Constituent function. Parliament can make changes or amendments to the constitution. Parliament has got the power to make amendments, to make changes, because the constitution makers were aware that in nearby future the society will be changed, and for the changing society it is needed to have some sort of flexibility in the constitution, so that we can make changes according to the changing society. That is why Article 368 was introduced, and Article 368 is that particular article in the constitution which gives the present government the power to make changes in the constitution. That is the constituent function of a government. Okay. Electoral function. The elections to the president and the vice presidents are conducted by the parliament itself. The president and the vice president are not elected directly by the people of India. They are elected by the representatives of the people of India. That means the members of the Lok Sabha as well as the members of the Rajya Sabha. Both the members of both the houses elect the president and the vice president of India. Control of the executive. All the bills, all the laws which are passed by the government, those laws, the executive has the responsibility to enforce those laws in the public. Okay. If the parliament is not happy with the working of the government, it can pass a no confidence motion. Now, what is a no confidence motion? If parliament sees that a particular government is not working according to the norms of the constitution, that particular opposition party can pass a no confidence motion against the ruling government. And if the members do not support the ruling government, then that government loses majority and that government falls. Okay? If the government fails to win the no confidence motion, it cannot hold power. If the government is not able to win the support of the majority in the house after passing the no confidence motion, then that particular government cannot hold power any longer. The executive. The union executive consists of the president. So, union executive consists of president, vice president, prime minister, and rest of the council of ministers subordinate to the prime minister. First of all, let us discuss what is the role of the president. Head of the state is the president. The head of the country is the president. Since his or her powers are mostly ceremonial means nominal. The president has not got more powers. The main head of the executive is the prime minister. Prime minister has got more powers than president, because prime minister is the head of the majority party which has won the elections. Okay, so that the prime minister and his council of ministers have the actual powers. The president is elected by the members of an electoral college consisting of elected members of both the houses of parliament and the legislative assemblies. So I have told you that president is elected by both the members of the houses as well as the members of the legislative assemblies. All the representatives of the country elect the president. Okay, so rest of the things we will discuss tomorrow. Read it thoroughly and listen it attentively, and read this again. This chapter you have to read this again, and after this page you have to read it. Okay, thank you class.